Yeah, I guess we'll do them in order, right? Because that's what everyone wants to hear. Pelicans Jazz. Is that the game of the night or Lakers Clippers?
Well, is Zion or LeBron the face of the league?
Well, LeBron's the face
LeBron's the face of
now.
the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Zion is definitely the up and coming face, and he will be on center stage versus the Utah Jazz. The spread in this one is 2.5. New Orleans is the favorite. On the money line, you can get Utah plus 118, New Orleans minus 138, and the over under in this one is 224. Uh, I think from most of the people I've spoken to, in America that America wants New Orleans to win this game, and they are leaning heavy that way. And I might just fade the public here, Higgins. I might just go be the other end. I'll just take the Jazz and the points, maybe even take them on the money line.
Now, how interesting is it that the Jazz are in the first game for the NBA being back when the Jazz were a part of that game in Oklahoma City that ultimately stopped and shut down the entire NBA and all of sports basically because of Rudy Gobert testing positive. I find it interesting that the Jazz are going to be at the front lines there. Maybe that's part of why everyone's rooting for New Orleans to win, and that's where all the money is, not just because of Zion. It could just be because of Zion. I mean, Zion is that polarizing of a man, but it could just also be because the Jazz left a bad taste in some of the sports fans' mouth after everything that happened, even though there's no control over it from their side in that sense. But let's get to the actual bets. Pelicans minus 2.5. That's where I'm going to be. I'm riding with the rest of America. Think Zion coming back. It'll be interesting to see how in shape he is, considering he had to go away from the bubble, and I heard talks of it was very hard for him to get in his workouts and everything, considering of how he had to quarantine and everything. But minus 2.5, a healthy Pelicans team, I'm confident in that. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, the young Pelicans, maybe they're, you know, they don't know what they don't know versus a more veteran Utah Jazz team. So there's, you can spin it either way. I definitely understand that. Zion is probably the most talented player on the court, so a lot of times in basketball that helps too. But
And these guys are younger, so maybe it'll remind them a little bit more of their days where they didn't have big crowds and things like that, and they'll be a little more used to playing in an empty or makeshift gymnasium as opposed to an older Jazz team.
actually, something interesting I've heard, and like I didn't even really think about this, but this is like the most relaxed a lot of players have been because they don't have to deal with all these fan requests and media requests and family members requesting tickets. Like, no one can get into the bubble, no one can get to the game. So, you don't have to fly in your aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and get them tickets and a hotel room and, make sure they have dinner. And you're just kind of really focused on the basketball. It's kind of an interesting thing that I didn't think about.
Well, that's how it will be for right now, but a month and a half, 2 months in, there's going to be some homesickness. And I mean, I saw reports that LeBron, who typically goes dark on social media once the playoffs start for those 2 months, he's going to have his phone on and he's still going to have his social media and everything because he can't afford to not be in contact with his family. And when he was asked if he'd ever, when was the last time he'd ever been on a stint this far away from his family at one time, he compared it to the Olympics, but he said even that was only for about 30 days. So if you stay the entire stretch of the bubble through the NBA championship, that's in October. That's a good 2, 3 plus months there that you're going to be away from your family.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, but again, like it's a different kind of stress versus like dealing with all these things on a game day versus and again, homesickness is a real thing, missing your family's a real thing. I'm not trying to minimize that, but just different types of stresses. But speaking of the Lakers, they play the Clippers in the nightcap. The Clippers are short-handed a little bit. No Lou Williams, no Montrezl Harrell. Both are six man of the year candidates, so that will hurt the Clippers bench. Also to note, AD, he's gonna wear goggles tomorrow night. I think I
We going
saw
swimming?
LeBron. Oh, what was that?
We going swimming?
I think I saw LeBron call him Anthony Jabbar Davis, a throwback to Kareem, who wore the goggles in the Laker uniform. So uh, that was funny. But going back to our line shopping tip, no free ads. Where Podgo's
Ooh.
gonna pay us, but FanDuel, however, is offering a spread the love boost. So if you're gonna bet the Lakers, definitely bet them the Lakers through this promo because you will get extra added value. I'm sure there's a max bet limit, but just something to note. If you're not betting on that, the spread currently is Lakers -4, Clippers +4. On the money line, you have the Clippers +146, the Lakers -174, and the over/under is 215.5. You can find me on that over.